One person. Okay, so everybody else is not sure about that. So let's talk about Facebook. So Facebook last year was faced with many things. It was faced with Facebook fatigue, faced with privacy issues of major scale, and was also faced with the rise of Twitter and the rise of Google+. And Facebook had to do something, and so it took a couple of months and came back with what I call the Empire Strikes Back. And I'm not going to dwell, unless somebody has a question later, on the Facebook stock price, because that's not what we're talking about here. But Facebook has done some things that journalists need to pay very close attention to. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So among the changes, as we know on Facebook, was this giant picture that you now have to worry about. Before we only worried about the small picture, now it's this big picture that you have to worry about. And I tell journalists it's a chance to curate something about your life, your work, your beat. Use that to curate it. That's a word you've heard me repeat several times. Curation of your presence is important. So this could be something that you're sharing with your audience. And it's all part of telling your kind of social story online. And I recommend you do that. So what are some of the other changes that have happened on Facebook? So let's just go to Facebook and take a look. So Facebook has undergone many changes, and this is, of course, looks like the old Facebook, but one of the changes that's undergone is this sidebar here, right? You've seen this up on the right? And someone had a great line, it's about to get more irritating. Anyone know how? Advertising is going to go in. So that will make it more irritating. So let's see here, and this tells you the most important news. Ryan Murphy got married. Where's Ryan? Is this our Ryan? Yes, it is. Yes. So that's wonderful. So let's see here. So let's talk about some of these changes that Facebook has undertaken. I'm just going to blow this up a little bit so you can see it. So there's that giant picture. And for journalists, a couple of things we need to know. The first is this idea of subscribers. How many of you have turned on Facebook subscribe so that people can subscribe to you? Look around, a handful of people, right? I encourage every journalist to understand Facebook subscribe. What it does is that all of your public postings can be seen by people who are not your friends or your so-called friends on Facebook. It's very important if you think about that for a minute. So what is that like? It's like Twitter, right? That you can now have a feed of your public things, comments, that you want other people to see without being forced into being a friend of that person. Does everybody understand that? Vaguely at least? And so what that means is you go and you turn on the subscribe feature, and once you do that, you go to facebook.com/about/subscribe. And once you've done that, you'll be here on the subscribe page, and then you can decide with each of your postings whether people should, whether it's public, or your friends, or a particular list, or I love this setting, only me. Anyone trust that only me setting? I trust it a little bit, but I'm not sure how much I trust it. So I encourage you to think about this, especially if you are uncomfortable with Twitter, you don't have the time to maintain these things. But remember, anything you make public gets seen by everybody. So that's something that you will have to be careful about when you're using this. So you can go in here and you can subscribe and have people subscribe to your content. So let me show you something else. Here's Eric Carvin. Some of you know him as Andy's brother. But he's also social media editor at the Associated Press and a wonderful person to follow on Facebook and on Twitter. And what you can do now is I can go in here and I can unfriend him on Facebook, which I'm not doing. But here's the miraculous thing. He still remains a subscriber to my content, but I'm not his friend anymore. So what does that mean? You got the idea that he still gets my crap, but I don't have to see his. Everybody got that? So that's a sneaky thing. I'm not doing it. Don't tell him I said so. But you can. He will not know that that happens. Now, he will not know until he's standing behind your shoulder or sitting in a conference and knows that you're doing this. But otherwise, he will not know. The other thing you should be doing on Facebook, any questions about subscribe from anybody?